So, hi, I will be doing the video on the synthesis of health behavior, and I will be focusing on how the health preventive approaches, focusing on my client's lifestyle changes and him taking responsibility for his own actions and own health behavior, and my client's main focus in the beginning was for him to increase muscle strength and muscle endurance and flexibility and great body composition. And I think I'll be using the transtheoretical model to during the time I'll be working with my client. So for transtheoretical model, there we have the pre-complementation stage first, where my client will rethink his behavior, analyze himself and his actions, and his ability to access risks for current situations, like lack of motivation, depression, like not having the ability to work out, to be physical, and not knowing what to do, like because my client in the past has said that in the past he has not followed through, or if he did follow through, he will relapse into the same old habits again. For the stage 2, which complementation, which is my client will weigh out his pros and cons for behavior changes, and he will try to confirm his readiness and his ability to change any negative behavior that's holding him back from succeeding. And he will identify behaviors that he needed to change while thinking about while doing physical assessments and fitness, because negative behavior will tend to hold him down or help set him back if that's the case. So people like him needs to be more aware of potential of making changes. And sometimes the preparation stage is where my client is really at. So lately we have come up with strategies about writing his goals and preparing what actions that he should take, and he's making lists of things he needs to be motivated on, that would not set him back. So for me, as the instructor or the wellness coach, I would try to collect enough information or that's regarding his environment, his emotions, and try ways to implement that into completing the next steps, which to actions. So action would be more like rewarding my client, if he has completed a certain task, like giving him doing certain greatest number amount of steps or training, or muscle training or fitness, and also encouraging my client to go out for social support, has friends, family during the times that he's working out, because that will be a positive reinforcement into his life. So, and he will not feel like he's abandoned and he's by himself. For the fifth stage will be more about developing coping mechanisms to help him prevent him from stepping back from his plan. And he needs to remind himself to reward himself every single time and think about the positive outcome and think about replacing old habits with more positive views. And okay, so my client will be doing like self monitoring himself, will help my client develop accurate perceptions of himself, and my client will probably receive positive and slash negative feedback if he needs to develop a new realistic perception, and a positive reinforcement such as good job when he completes something, and like a reward like, oh, you can just do like 1 hour of TV of sitting down, well, you just be eating healthy snacks at the time to balance it out. Whereas, and for like teaching him problem solving and decision making to overcome relapse or behavior barriers. For social support, I feel like my client should do like mini session workout with his families or like friends during the time of his break. Um, like doing Zoom calls with his friends, because there's like this epidemic that's going on right now. And for the goals, he will use like SMART goals or other type of goals, and he also will have a chance to reevaluate these goals to see if he has succeed these goals. And so the self monitoring will probably consist of him like self regulation will be like weighting himself, like an exercise log, or like how many steps did I take today, how many push-ups did I do today, recording himself. Like food log would be like, did I incorporate enough protein instead of and less in carbs into my diet to gain the weight. And for problem solving, he will probably make like new adjustments if he has to, like for physical fitness slash food, like if he's eating more carbs than protein and than fats, he will try to adjust to that. For like rehabs, like for rehabs prevention, he would probably try to develop like programming, like a program or like some type of list on how like not to rehab, like not to relapse from um the same previous situation that he was at, like when he said that he was lack of motivation, and he didn't feel like doing much, just completing sedentary behavior all the time. So the relapsing will probably like take him back to square one. So we will prevent him from doing that. So he has to avoid like temptations that will lead him to having a step back. Overall, the cues of actions will probably of him will consistently have an internal and external boost to succeed as a client and as a person that's ready to be physically fit.